teams leave. Just saw it in the last series. Vice had to go home. We've got one more head to chop here today to end the day. Neon up against MG Trust. This one rather unfortunate. Neon's a team that a lot of people have had high hopes for since the start of quarantine period, since BTS Pro Series Season 1. But they've always kind of struggled, especially when it comes into playoffs. This time around, finding themselves on the chopping board off the bat. They placed bottom of groups here as well, Mike. So MG Trust, definitely the favorites, despite the rockier performance than you'd expect from them. They are the favorites coming in here. Neon, it really goes back to this roster shuffle. Like, Scam on 3-4, play hard on 3-4 with Matsumi on 1. It feels like they're still trying to gel that in. And we'll see if they have taken that time from groups to start to hammer in how they want to play with each other. As MG Trust is not a team that you should really underestimate. It feels like they've already gotten into the stride with each other. We've seen Death step up to the plate every single time on the off lane now. And it's starting to look really comfy. So this is not going to be an easy fight for Neon.
No, I do agree with that. I do think it is going to be rather tough for them. Of course, it is going to be based on draft and what Neon can get up to. Maybe they make some role switches here to try and make it a little bit more comfortable for themselves. They will get started off with one of their favorites, of course. They do go for the early Tiny pick, and we've seen them many, many times. They are very flexible with this Tiny. Could be thrown in the mid lane, as we know Yopaj really enjoys playing it, or you could just run it as a 4. Either way, it is still a very, very powerful pick. Motivate.Trust, they started with the Lina, which has been very popular as of late, and it looks like they are going to go into the Slardar now. So a very, very strong duo of the Lina Slardar going to be in that off lane already for Motivate.Trust.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the options to be flexible with the Lina as well. Could see it mid if you wanted it to, but more than likely the support there with the off lane. As you mentioned, Neon, Tiny, it could be the play hard hero, it could be the Yopaj hero. Yopaj Tiny is a sight to behold, of course. But again, leaving their options open. Got so many combinations left. Surprising MG Trust don't offer something like a Life Stealer or a Jug to deal with the Tinies we tend to see. But Neon, Earth Spirit. So keeping that flexibility in. Either one could be Yopaj's hero. Either one could be Playhard's hero.
That's intriguing though, right? Because now you know you've got this kind of melee core. One of these two has to be the mid role, right? Like you can't really run either of these as a pos 5 because they do require a bit more farm to be influential. So now you kind of guarantee that your Paj has to be playing one of these two. And that could cause some kind of complications for them, right? Because you are still just 2 melee cores, or rather 2 heroes that are melee, and one of them is going to be a core, so it shouldn't be too hard for Motivate to come up with a mid pick that does do well up against either of these two, as they are kind of similar.
That they are. I'd say even if you just leave the Lina and kind of take that mid for Fearless, that could be nice already. It's got the range advantage, it's got good wave clear coming out. Could kind of work fine against either of these down mid. So Neon might be putting themselves in a bit of a corner. We'll have to see what they build up. They do manage to ban out some popular cores. The PA is taken out here. And the Life Stealer. The Life Stealer being the more value one, because you've got this Infest target in Slardar. You've got this inbuilt Rage to avoid the damage from the Tiny and the Earth Spirit. So I think it's a smart choice overall. MG Trust, for their troubles, have taken out the Arc Warden and Spec. So 2 Natsumi heroes that he is fairly comfy with out of the pool, and they even take out the Bloodseeker as well. So if they're not going to be under any trouble when they're being chased down or when they're dropping low. Of course, Neon do take out the Popular, faces Void. So no combinations coming out with that. Do leave the option for something like, say, a Juggernaut here for MG Trust if they wanted that for Savage. It's been a while since we've seen Savage Jug, but it's another way to dodge the damage Tiny Earth Spirit bring out. Plays nice with a Slaughter if they wanted it. Could be something MG Trust looks into.
Could be. Neon, they'll go into their third pick for now, though. They do have a bit of reserve time, so they will start using that up. They want to have a bit more of a think about this one. You'd imagine this should just be a support pickup, but...
yeah. Should be something on the 5. Just to start balancing out this fairly greedy opener and start to hammer in who's taking what. But feels like Neon, when you open like this, it's way too flexible. Like, you've got 2 heroes to flex. It can make it hard to decide how to build on top. And I think Neon's kind of facing that now.
I was going to say one of the... Wow, another position 4 pickup. So the clock works here now. Very flexible, as you said, John. The one problem I'm really seeing for Neon right now is the IO's been left there as well. So you've got... Although you wouldn't really lane the Slider IO together, but you could pick up the IO as a 5 and have that with the Slider once you're past the laning stage. And that could be very, very strong. Now, mind you, they have plenty of catch for the IO. So Neon might kind of be banking on that fact that maybe Motivate take the IO right now. But even then, I'd still say the IO is a very, very good pick if Motivate wanted to take it.
Yep, could slot in if they wanted to. I just don't think we've seen MG.Trust opt into the IO themselves too much. In the games we've covered, it's been mainly Fnatic with jabs. I think the IO for the most part, so it's an option. I just don't know if they'd really prioritize the Slaughter IO combo, as not many teams in Southeast Asia has been. But it is really strong. Like it's kind of ridiculous how fast you can run. Even IO Lina is a lot of value as well. So they could just go for it if they wanted. They go with the DP instead, so it's something completely left field. Looks like they will run the Lina support in that case. DP down mid. That is something that can deal with Tiny or Earth Spirit nicely. You will have to watch the silence from the Earth Spirit. But otherwise, it holds that lane well. Gives you great push coming out here for MG.Trust as long as they play with that timing. And we have seen Fearless play the DP before. Tends to be very disciplined around using that exorcism at the right time. So MG.Trust should know the times they want to hit. Neon, I don't know, like Clockwork comes in. They haven't...
I'll go for the troll. I don't know about this one either, John. I mean, it's a very kind of strong laning hero, so I believe the idea of the troll here is that it can kind of deal with the Slider Lina combination in that off lane, but even then, just as an overall pick, it does not feel great. It does come online very early, though, to their credit. Like, their draft really does snowball out of control if you do get a good start going. Motivate?
It does. Oh, that is ridiculous. Like 4 melee heroes.
What is
and
happening?
you leave the Timber Saw.
All right. So now you've got a Timber there. I appreciate that there's 4 melee heroes. One, is kind of half. You can be a range troll if you do want. Where are you laning these heroes now, though, for Motivate?
Slaughter 5. Slaughter 5, Lina 4. Yep, probably. If not, Slaughter 4, Lina 5. I'd prefer Slaughter 5. I think overall, we've seen that once in one series. It does still work in the right circumstance. Can be pretty handy. I think the Timber Saw is just really nice. Like there's nothing here from Neon to stop it. You've got the silence from the Earth Spirit, but once you hit your level 10 timing as the Timber Saw, or even just your level 7, it's gonna be really hard to deal with him. The troll's gonna have to watch his spacing. Neon, they're in this awkward spot where they take the troll, but they don't have, like, say, an Oracle, say an IO, say anything to maximize his ult and give him more front time. No Magnus as well here for Neon, so the troll is kind of isolated as an element in his team. There's no natural synergy here. And I think Neon's got to show something in their last pick. I have no clue what they want here. Like, it does feel like we should have our 2 supports in hand. And we should have one of the mids there. So it looks like they might be saving Skem's offlane for last. But I don't see anything in the offlane that's going to be free enough. Because you've got these 3 heroes that need so much EXP. And the offlaner tends to want some EXP as well. So you've got potentially 4 heroes that need EXP at a fast rate. Then you have a troll that needs to buy farm. There's like a lot of potential to play fast, but Neon needs to really get off to a running start. Get first blood, maybe go for an early tri lane with Clock, Earth Spirit Tiny, or Clock, Earth Spirit +1, or whoever's the support +1. Run them down, get first blood, bully out the lanes, and get off from there. Timber Saw is going to be a prime target. Level 1 Timber Saw is absolutely weak to this lineup. So that is something Neon has. As long as they get off to the right lanes, it's going to be fine. MG.Trust, for their part, I'd say right now, just take a core that can maximize your Slaughter. So something that loves that Corrosive Haze, perhaps. You could go for a Slaughter 1. No, amazing. Oh, this is beautiful.
Wait a minute. Who is this guy? The Wraith King pops up. This is very intriguing. This is the last hero I would have expected to come up as a POS 1. I mean, it does enjoy the corrosive haze, I suppose. It's not a very popular pick right now on the current meta.
No.
There wasn't many left in all fairness. I was kind of thinking maybe they'd go into the PL for Savage, because he does like running the Phantom Lancer, but no, Wraith King.
I think it's actually pretty darn good. Wraith King plus DP. The push potential here is kind of out of this world. As long as you play with Exorcism, you get the Skellies up, you melt towers. Wave clear for Neon. I mean, it's going to be there once you have, say, Battle Fury and Troll. So, of course, you've got that. But Neon... Enigma to close it out.
Very
What
greedy.
is this?
Yeah, it went from like this super fast snowbally kind of lineup to let's slow it down with Enigma and see what happens.
I know about this one. Like it's just so strange. Both teams. If I had to peg one lineup, I would say MG.Trust is looking a bit better. I like the supports, honestly. Like Lina Slardar is, man, that sounds like something that's 4 or 5 years old in terms of being run as supports together, but it still works really nice. You've got a lot of stuns with him, plus this Raid King. You've got good push with the DP Raid King. You've got this Timbersaw who just needs to hit level 3 and he's going to be fairly stable in his lane. So you've got pretty solid timings. Neon, for their part, you need the timings in your Paj for his and Spirit Vessel. You need Scam possibly just going into his mech in this game. Natsumi into the Battle Fury. Much more early game item dependent. There's also the pressure to find EXP for Tiny, for Earth Spirit, for Clock's Hookshot, for the Enigma 6. More than likely maybe 8 if you bypass that black hole. So there's a lot that has to go perfectly for Neon. MG.Trust have a much more forgiving lineup. And I think that's really where it comes down to. If you have a lineup that's easier to run, chances are you're going to run it right better than the other team.
The big question mark for me still remains, John. That Wraith King bothers me a little bit. I don't know what to think of either draft, so we're just going to go into it and see what happens. I look very, very forward to this game, I got to say, John. These are heroes we don't get to see often, so I guess shout out to the teams for actually giving us some entertaining heroes before the new patch drops. That should be a bit of fun.
That it is. I'm rather curious as well. Remember for the longest time, Savage had LFT as a sponsor. Now it's Juice World 999. What is that, Savage?
Where have I heard that? What is Juice World? Is that like a rapper or something?
I have no bloody clue, man.
I don't know. I'm getting too old for this kind of crap, John. Let me look this up.
I'm gonna check.
Juice World.
Yeah, he is a rapper.
Okay.
All right. Savage is feeling some tunes, I guess.
Well, what songs did this guy come up with? I've heard none of them.
Chat's gonna call us boomers again.
We are.
Call us what you want. Man, don't remind me. Jeez, I can't believe it. We're ancient. We're not ancients, though. We're not as important as the ancients, so we're just old.
Yeah, nobody's defending us, John. Don't get the wrong idea.
Man. I don't know. I have to tell you, I think the Raid King here is actually perfect. The one issue I see is if Natsumi opts for a Diffusal, you're going to have a really bad time this game. Right? But do you really want your troll to go Diffusal over a fast Battle Fury? Probably not. So it all depends on how Natsumi wants to play his troll. For MG.Trust, I mean, as long as Fearless hits his 6 or 7, and they get a tower with Exorcism at, say, the 7 to 8 minute mark, ideally mid, you should be fine. You're hitting your timings there. Savage, as long as he doesn't fall too far behind, is okay. He is queuing up the Midas on that Raid King. So reminiscent of the times we've seen it in BTS Pro Series Season 3, right? Like, that was probably the last time we saw it in Season 3. It was mainly Boom Esports as well, right? Like, Dreamo was always the one playing the Raid King for the most part.
Yeah. Thing is, this hero does still farm extremely quick, right? Like, with the skeletons, you can still farm the jungle extremely fast. That's the one thing that never really disappeared about the hero. And another thing I've been seeing popping up a lot, and I wouldn't recommend this to anyone, but I've been seeing and I've been experiencing a lot of off-lane Wraith King with the Aghanim Scepter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I think we even saw that in one of our games last time. Axe Rush, and it is fairly obnoxious. I don't think Savage is going to go for it, but it could be dang. You never know.
I gotta admit, like, through my experiences in pubs with that Aghanim Scepter Wraith King, it is kind of silly. Like,
It is.
you think you've won a team fight, but then everyone's still up spamming spells at you. And you kind of underestimate, you know, your, I don't know what the word is here, but you underestimate it for sure. So I highly doubt that's what Savage will do, though. I just thought I'd bring that up as a bit of a segue. Still, up to the top lane, Skem is going to be up against that Wraith King and Boombell and the Lina. A bit of a tough lane for the Enigma. I'm not sure if they intend to leave Skem here alone, but I don't think it's going to be that easy for him. The Playhard's coming in now. It's a nice toss back onto Boombell. But even then, I doubt Playhard stays here forever. I think if Boombell wanted to stick around and just keep harassing out Skem, he probably could with not really much in the way of stopping him. However, bot lane Death is going to find himself in trouble. He'll survive on 20 HP, and Genuel could not reach to cancel off that salve. Of course, Death is only level 1 right now, doesn't have any reactive armor stacks, and as I look away, they do get the kill onto Skem.
Yep, it's not the lane you want to leave that Enigma alone in at level 1. Boombell is just so good at zoning out. This lane doesn't get any easier as levels come in as well. Like, you can try the Eidolon spam, but Lina has a lot of wave clear. So you've got to be cautious. It looks like Skem might just, opt to have Playhard constantly try to pull. So he's going to have an easier time getting some farm in, getting some levels up, but this is going to be a slower lane for Skem. We're going to have to see if he does opt to just jump into jungle and give Playhard the lane to soak EXP. But already a good start here for MG.Trust. Savage can be very happy. He does switch his build up once more, Mike. It's actually now the Radiance Rush for Savage, so it looks like he might be considering a more active build up here rather than a farm-oriented build in the Wraith King.
Well, I think he's very happy with the fact that he got that first blood gold, so if he's able to just keep farming it at a very nice pace, then you may as well just go for the Radiance and really escalate out of control. So we'll have a look at the other lanes as well. Mid lane, your Page is up against Fearless. This should be a lane that does favor Fearless on the DP, but it looks like your Page is really not having too tough of a time right now. In fact, he's out CSing Fearless as we speak. And the main reason why it's meant to be a difficult lane is the Spirit Siphon up against the Earth Spirit. But it looks like your Page has gotten enough levels to where he can just kind of roll away from it if he needs to.
Yeah, it's not going to be any major threat for lane for either side unless someone missteps hard. But otherwise, there should be a steady farming lane. Going to boil down to power runes and support rotations. And in that case, you do have nicer supports that can come out from Neon. I mean, you've got this clock that can run up and the Tiny that can toss back. There's more potential there from Neon. I think MG.Trust has got to watch that and constantly keep eyes out. They have one ward, but it's mainly just watching a rune spot. So if Neon wants to be sneaky, they could get something early on here.
Looks like Q's going to show up. A bit early for the 4-minute power rune. Maybe he thought about trying to go after that Earth Spirit mid, but he's going to be a bit too late to the party, so instead he'll just stick around and wait for that 4-minute timer. Of course, Death doesn't really need his help anymore, as well, he's level 3 now, so the chances of killing off the Timber are quite low. So he does have 2 points in that reactive armor. Thing is, Q is still waiting around in that mid lane, but Januel's got eyes on him as we speak. Just go after the runes. Genuel, not going to find one down bot. It is going to be up top where your Page is able to bottle it up. Even Playhard now hanging around on the Tiny. Q's actually going to sit here for a bit, apparently, just deny creeps.
Yeah, he doesn't really have a lane. This is one issue with Slardar 4, especially when you've got something that can be independent like the Timbersaw. You don't have many places to play in if you can't dominate a lane, so it's an awkward moment for Q. It's going to have to work his way top, but this ward from Neon's going to inform them that it's soon going to be a tri-lane, so they're going to be ready for that movement up.
Avalanche toss out on Savage, didn't really do too much. It's only level 1 Avalanche and Toss. They're just trying to buy a bit of space here for Skem to try and catch up on that Enigma. That he is slowly but surely doing. You are Q stacking the Q stacking some creeps. Does get the bounty rune away from Play Hard. Doesn't get the stack either, mind you, so good news for Q. Gonna go back after Play Hard, just keep annoying him on this tiny, make sure he can't make the rotation into mid. I suppose this is one thing Q can do, is there's not really much else he can do right now. He's gonna go back for that stack. I'm not sure what the game plan is here for this Slardar. Oh, he just wanted the bash charges. Okay, he'll go up top lane now, where he'll go after Skem and get that bash of the deeps out. Make sure they have enough damage, and Boom Bell is going to be able to get the kill. And I always forget the bash of the deeps is charge based these days. It's been like that for a long time now.
Yeah, it's really kind of busted. You can find it all.
Page does go down to the DP. Q was there with the rotation. The 6-minute power rune is going to be down bot. It's a regen rune. Fearless will probably really enjoy that unless Playhard goes to pick it up, and it looks like Playhard may just make it before Fearless can. Or Playhard might die in the process though, as the Crypt Swarm might just do it. Q trying to catch up. Playhard does take it away from him. He should still die eventually. Goes for the Avalanche, doesn't have enough mana for the toss, and will indeed die. So a 0 for 4 now, 2k net worth lead for the side of Motivate.Trust. Things are looking up for this Dire side.
Yeah, the only lane going well for Neon right now is Natsumi's lane. His solo lane against the Timbersaw working out okay, keeping up in farm compared to our Raid King. So that is the only bit of good news. I think not quite the best of trades. If you would want Yapash to have a better time. He is still saving up for his urn, not quite done with that. They've had such a nice time as well that, again, Q, even though he's been moving around, is still finding levels. So you are finding everything so far, although Savage is low.
Savage is very, very low. Still level 5 as well, so he doesn't have any points in reincarnation, but he will be able to TP up very nicely. I believe it was Boom Bell holding everyone else back on the Lina. Definitely good news for Savage to be able to get out of that. However, down at the bot lane, we've got big problems with this Troll Warlord. Natsumi is going to drop off the back of the rotation from Fearless. They even see Genuel there, and they want the extra kill. Spirit Siphon going to connect. Genuel going to be slowed up. He does not have any points in cogs either, which means he is just set to die. Death gets the Chakram off, and that's going to be a nice, easy kill. Their sixth kill of the game, and Neon are yet to pick up a kill.
This is not a good sign for Neon. We talked about their draft being more aggressive from the get-go. Not, they don't want to play from behind. They need a snowball start. They need to find kills. They might find Boom Bell.
Perhaps they will. Boom Bell?
No.
Nope. He's going to be fine as well.
Man.
I mean, at least they're set up to push down the tier 1 tower up top, but I believe Motivate will have plenty of time to come defend, and yeah, Death is TPing up. They're not going to allow this. They're going to lock them away from these tier 1 towers. Meanwhile, Boom Bell still playing around with Skem, does land the Line Strike Array, but Yapage is going to fly through and does get the kill. A nice one at that, but Q now has come in onto Skem. Skem has the Black Hole, but doesn't have mana for it, and may actually get away as Yapage is holding everyone else back. He does almost kill off Q and eventually does get him. And meanwhile, Skem is still just running, trying to get mana for that Black Hole, and now does have it. Is it going to be enough anyway? Skem still alive, going to TP out now, and looks like he might just get away, and he does. The great escape from Skem. Yapage is now underneath the tier 3 tower. Where are you going, Yapage? He's going to go for a TP play in the Dire base, and he's going to get away with it. Oh, beautiful play out from Yapage.
Yeah, they stall out. Neon doesn't quite fix their issues. Still 3k behind, 2-6. But this is somewhat of a bounce back here for the Radiant side. So you'll take what you can get. Good style points at the least. But style points don't win games, Mike. Farm and levels do. And, of course, finding the Ancient. So They need to start working that here for Neon. He's still playing this farming game. This is one issue with the draft, where Natsumi sitting in the jungle, so would Skem. And they're just going to get some steady farm with your offlane going this slow. And look at MG.Trust, they're going for the kill.
Natsumi going to be in danger. Fearless going to pop up there. This troll warlord going to be very, very low. He just used battle trance to farm those stacks, by the way, John. So he didn't have that available to try and survive, and now with that, Death wants to keep going, wants to play hard. It looks like they'll just avoid the clockwork for now, rather than Tiny just go back in onto that tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, though, Savage does end up dying. Not sure what happened there with Savage. MG.Trust, they were just pushing the mid-tier 1 tower as if nothing was happening. Play hard. Yopaj rolling forward. They seem to want Boom Bell, but nothing's connecting. Now they might be in danger. A double line strike array coming out. Yopaj trying to roll out. Will make it. Play hard. May not be so lucky, however. He gets crushed up and he will die. Nice pickups there from Motivate once again. And apart from that Savage death, I think things are still going very nicely for them. So, even with that death, Savage is still ahead of Natsumi by quite a bit of gold. I don't think he's too stressed out.
No, and it's going to stay that way because of this build-up on Natsumi. The hook.
Yeah, nice hook shot out. They have caught out the Slaughter, but a double crush comes, and Fearless is going to go in onto Yopaj, who does get the kill on the Earth Spirit, and block is going to be there from Death, I believe it was. In fact, they get Genuel as well. Play hard trying to run. Laguna out. Fearless, it's going to be enough. A triple kill out for the Death Prophet. A 4k net worth lead for Motivate. Into the tier 1 mid they go.
Yeah, it's just such a smooth start for Neon. Taking that mid tier 1, as we mentioned, that's what they wanted to get first. Works out well for them. And you still need a lot of waiting here for Neon. Right? Like, they've been sitting on this first black hole from Skem, but he just doesn't feel safe. He has no easy angle to get a black hole off. He is going for the mech buildup for his team. Gonna be a while until that's effective, and they do catch Boom Bell.
Yeah, Boom Bell should be dead. Yopaj, he should have plenty of control for this. Oh no, he won't. Q shows up on the Slaughter. He did not want to dive too far for a kill onto a pos 5, it seems.
Neon's biggest issue right now is they've got 2 cores that need farming. So the offlane's farming up, and their safe lane is farming up. They do have a mid that's ready to go. There is a smoke out here. Perhaps Neon gonna look for an angle to at least just get a fast black hole kill.
Death might be that target. They do get the tier 1 top tower. Hook shot, not gonna land, but they have the Maleficus. Chains away. Yopaj slows him up. Death still trying to get out of this. The black hole does come through. Skem will just commit. They have to get this kill though. Death, he's gonna chain away. He's got 24 reactive armor. He's going to turn back around to play hard now. But he's run out of mana. That was a greedy play out. Or maybe not Death. He will finally die. But boy, oh boy, that was a very expensive kill to get. And they almost lost some in the process.
Yeah, it's a really deep dive. That did draw a lot of attention out from Neon. So they freed up the bot lane. Savage is not being contested. His Radiance timing's actually going to be really fast. Like, he's almost got the gold for the Sacred Relic. The recipe shouldn't be too far off, so I think we're looking at a 15.5-minute timing for the Radiance, and that is pretty ridiculous for this Raid King, who did die once as well in lane. They're going to be able to find a tier 1 Neon trading up the top, but their tier 2 bot is going to be under pressure. Exorcist and Puck by Fearless. They do not want to drop these tier 2s very early on.
Yeah, they don't seem to have much of a choice in the matter, though. I just don't see how they fight 5v5. I mean, they had 5 heroes there with a black hole committed, and they could barely kill Death off. I don't see how you take a 5v5 if you can't even kill the Timber when he's by himself. That'll be the tier 2 tower gone, and MG.Trust, I'm sure, will go straight for that outpost. They should be able to deny any form of outpost XP from Neon now. At least for the 20-minute mark. Unless Neon make a miracle happen.
No, it's they're just way too far behind. I mean, I think the biggest issue right now is beyond those two cores farming up, there's a very distinct contrast with what Yopaj wants to do with his Earth Spirit. Yopaj does not want to be farming right now. He wants to be active with his supports. He wants to find something, but
Genuel going to be stunned up here by the Slider Q. However, a lot of damage coming in from our Earth Spirits, so they do get one into the other. Death going to be underneath that Midnight Pulse, but will chain away. They have the Spirit Vessel this time around. Death is not that tanky anymore, or maybe he is. A nice chain away to his own tree. They will only get the Slider for their trouble.
that's a nice little pickup still for Neon. Not going to be upset with a freebie. They would have loved to get something bigger. They are getting some steady farm in. I believe Natsumi's Battle Fury's not too far off, so he did switch out from the Diffusal. Just trying to play the long game now into what looks to be an SNY. Still going to be a lot longer until he's ready. And
well, they've caught out the clockwork. Genuel in trouble, does get Laguna down, but Yopaj now wanting some revenge. Does go on to Fearless, and they have the Battle Trance and the Roots out. And that's a very valuable kill to get. Very nice play there from Neon. Get a very good trade for themselves. I suppose this is their time to shine at this kind of midway point through the game. You've still got this problem of Savage, who is just about to have the Radiance up a bit later than you first anticipated, but you know, it's going to be there. Does have the recipe coming out now.
That's going to be really big. That means even if you find him in the first life, he's going to have so much impact with just burning through every single time he's alive. And he does have his level 2 ult just off the bat. He was holding on for a long time. Does have it now, so he's got the safety net ready. Farming straight into a Halberd, and this is just going to cause so many issues for Natsumi once that is up. The Battle Fury's up now on our troll, but there's a smoke here from MG.Trust. They want to make use of this Radiance.
Going to the Roshan. Seems like Neon are well aware that this could be happening. I mean, they're all grouped up there. Fearless going to pop the ulti. Player going to give vision. This could be very dangerous for Motivate.Trust. Could be a very nice opening for Neon, but it's going to be hard to go into this team fight. While that exorcism is still going, Hawk Shot going to be blocked off by Death. Aegis will be picked up by the DP, but Scam gets in for a black hole, but it's cancelled immediately. Still Fearless, looks like he does die. That'll be the Aegis gone. Scam going to be chased down, and they will find a secondary now. So they got the Aegis for their trouble, but the fight does not go their way. I suppose at least MG.Trust probably won't be able to really find any kind of objectives out of this. In fact, Savage now, getting kicked back by Yopaj, does have Reincarnate. He's going to survive the first time around anyway. Just going to dance his way out.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they got that first life, would have forced a movement out from MG.Trust, but now they just get to sit back. Gonna need to reset until the Exorcism's back up and Fearless, but they know they're ahead. They've got 6k up. Neon had to throw everything out. They don't have Black Hole for another 2 minutes. That is such a big amount of downtime for this hero.
Hook shot gonna be there onto Death. He gets pushed away by the cogs, and the chains are cancelled as well by Yopaj. He has another chains out, but how do you get it off? He gets stunned up. Another avalanche. They're just throwing everything at him. Fearless, meanwhile, going to show up now on the DP with the Spirit Siphons out, but Yopaj just keeps going with the Magnetize. Here comes Savage. They want the Earth Spirit, and they will blow him up with the Laguna. Natsumi, however, does kill off Boombell, going in for more onto Fearless. Play Hard going to come in, but he's been silenced up, and we do actually have a pause, as they are experiencing some lag. Paj, he did just buy back and TP'd up towards that tier 2 tower now. So they are going to try and re-engage. They still are fighting into the reincarnation of Savage, but it does look kind of bad now without the exorcism of Fearless. I'm not 100% sure if Motivate can keep fighting this.
I'd say they can. They've got the ults to stop the Battle Trance troll. They can kind of keep him in control that way. There's no Black Hole still for another 89 seconds. That's way longer than Exorcism at 30 seconds. So there's still a big window here where the team fight of Neon's just not quite there unless you get this massive Magnetize out. But Magnetize was already blown earlier as well. So that's also gone for about 80 seconds. And it's just down to individual control. The big issue Neon had there was that they overcommit for death. This is what, the second time they overcommit, and they don't even find a kill this time around. They've got to be very cautious once they commit onto the Timbersaw, because MG.Trust the lineup is still tanky. Like, the DP is not a very squishy mid despite being int, and Savage has 2 lives. So you really need to save a couple of those spells for those other heroes instead, maybe even just picking off the squishier supports. But they might be punched here. Now, if Natsumi can get a really good use of his battle trance, that could be a different story. We'll just have to see. They've had time to think about it here.
Find out very soon, and Savage gonna stick around. Yapage gonna roll onto the high ground. Keep going. Does connect on Fearless with the kickback now. They really want that DP. The Cox puts back as well. But Yapage, he's died back. He went too far. Natsumi is going to pop the battle trance. He does kill on Fearless at least. Going for more now onto Q. Savage, meanwhile, trying to find a target. He's going to go after Playhard. Playhard dropping low. Death coming back in. They might lose the first life on Savage as he does get tossed back into his death. Scam doesn't have a black hole. Might just drop here to death, and it looks like he will. Oh, chains? Gonna be cancelled off. Savage still chasing him down. The Radiance burn might be enough, and the chains will eventually get it done. That'll pretty much be it. They got the DP, but for a dieback on your mid-earth spirit, it does not feel good.
No, it's not great. They get a little bit more gold. They do gain 500 gold in their end overall, and that does mainly go to Natsumi, so there is a bit of a boon there, but it's not enough to compensate for that. MG.Trust are still going to be happy, and Savage finds a freebie. Play hard.
Is it though? He just TPs away.
Ooh, no
Savage,
crits.
No crits at all. One may have just done it. I mean, he's critting for about 600 damage, but he does not get lucky. Very unfortunate for him. And so an 8k net worth lead now for Motivate.Trust. Things are looking pretty darn bad for Neon Esports. So, you look at Natsumi's farm, it's not too far behind, but it's a troll warlord. It kind of has its limitations, and top lane, Yapage has been caught out again. Silence is actually not going to land, but they have the clumsy net that's trying to block the way. They block the first roll, but can they get the second? He silences up JG, but the light strike array is going to be there from Boombill. Get the Earth Spirit once again, and I can tell you, John, as an Earth Spirit player, there's not really much in the way of coming back from this.
No, it's really hard to bounce back once you miss that initial timing. It's starting to become all about Natsumi. We can't discount how much impact a good black hole from Scam can be, though. He is going for the BKB next on the Enigma. So once you've got this BKB blink on your Enigma, I think that will fix a few issues Neon has in team fights, and MG.Trust has to be a bit careful about that. They have nothing that pierces that BKB.
Playhard gonna be caught. He's gonna get stunned up and is definitely dead. Savage will take that one. Another bunch of bones harvested. The Tiny really doesn't have bones, John. It's a pile of rocks, but harvested nonetheless.
Yeah, Skeleton King takes all, Mike. And they're going to be trying to take this tier 2 tower now as well. Exorcism is back up. Savage still has Reincarnation back up as well. So it's going to be a straight tower to take. Neon, the best thing they can do is really just split this farm up. They have Black Hole for the high ground in case it does come in. But it looks like MG.Trust are going to go for the safe play and just take the steady objectives. No real rush for them. Savage might burn through his life, but should be fine.
He's going to survive. Have the reincarnate just in case. Q, top lane, has the blink up, looking for that Earth Spirit again, and Yapage, he's been spotted. Corrosive Haze going to give the vision. He does not have a TP available, he's just going to keep rolling. And he's stuck. Going to roll again. They have the vision, but it looks like Q just can't keep up. I mean, on the brighter side for him, Yapaj is out of boulders now.
Savage.
Meanwhile, down to the bot lane, Savage going to get tossed up in the air, but he's got the stun out on Playhard. And they will chase down with the Clumsy Net and the Laguna Blade. It will all be enough to kill off Playhard into Genuel. The Clockwork is also going nowhere.
Oh man, it's fairly clean from MG.Trust now. 9-21, 11k lead on their end. Take a look at Dota Plus as well. Gives MG.Trust an 86% chance to win here. So Neon, they're not quite out of it. You know, Natsumi's still keeping up, number 2 in net worth, just about 2,000 behind our Raid King, which is, it's not a good sign when you've got this Battle Fury build, but you are still in the game. You've got this Enigma that can still turn the game with just one good black hole, and it's really starting to become all about Natsumi and Schem. They need to be in the right spot. They need to use their spells well to win these fights now.
Oh, Q, that's a great dodge on that boulder smash, and he gets Yapaj mid-roll with the bash of the Deeps. He has the control now. Yapaj trying to get away, but he just can't. These are great plays out from Q on this Slaughter, I've got to say, John. He's been all over the place.
Yeah, they've just really been on point. Their execution's been on point as well, and you know, it looked rocky in the start of groups, but again, very recently it's been really tight, and Neon are just the ones still looking shaky.
They are.
And you've seen John Well and Playhard running around, but they don't have any core to play with an oh no.
Yeah, they've caught out Genuel. Q, he was waiting for that right moment. He finds it. It's getting from bad to worse here. Playhard, a nice toss back, catches out Fearless into the black hole. They do get the Death Prophet. That's a great play out from Playhard. Savage is actually going to turn around and try to fight this one out. He's going to be surrounded, or maybe not. The damage output coming out is just so much. They've got way more than enough, but Natsumi with the Battle Trance trying to fight back is on to death. They do get the Timber Saw, but Savage isn't done yet. He wants that Natsumi Troll Warlord. He's going to stun up. Line Strike Array is there from Boombell, and they will control up the Troll. There's nowhere Natsumi's going. He's going to die. It's a 4-for-2 trade. And more Bones Harvested. In fact, more. Schem being caught out by Q once again. Stun's gonna fly out. Do they have enough follow-up? Yeah, they do. Light Strike Array there from Boombell. And it's a full team wipe now.
It's just clean from MG.Trust. It looks a bit rocky because they lost Fearless, but guess what the upside is? Once Fearless walks down here, they've got Exorcism to push into the high ground, and they've still got the second life in Savage, so it's all looking good. In fact, Savage might just hit his level 20 talent right in time as well, so he doesn't even need to care about his mana for this next re-ink.
But what if you could get +6 skeletons, John?
Hey, it's actually a good talent if you get the 24 attack, but
that is
when
true.
do you ever... He didn't get it, so no Danks Kelly army. Just gonna go for no mana cost, and there you go. Savage can now just not care about when he throws his spells out, and that's just the easiest push of their life. Just take the tier 3, melee racks, range racks left for Mercy, but MG.Trust 11-28, 17k up at 26.5 minutes in. Neon, it's all about Schem. You see what happens when he has to commit Black Hole on one. They can't afford to do that in this high ground defense. They need to land it on 2 targets, ideally 3 targets, to find a pickoff.
Apparently Playhard ends up dying down to the bot lane. Didn't really spot that one out, but Savage was there along with Q once again on the Slaughter. Meanwhile, Radiant Triangle, Neon, trying to make some form of a play. They seem to know the Roshan's happening right now. They really can't afford to let it go down. It's very hard to expect this team fight to go their way without the black hole up. And even with it, you question how effective they're going to be in this team fight, as Natsumi cannot afford to die. BKB's up. He's going to need to take the team fight. They still don't have that black hole, though. They have to wait for Fearless. He's going to go straight after Schem. They know who to aim, and Schem, he might just drop. Meanwhile, Genuel also dying at Natsumi. He gets the battle trance off. Savage will disarm and dance in front of him. Oh, no.
Oh, Savage.
Oh, boy. Now, that's the definition of taunting, John.
Oh man.
Oh, he does the Fortnite dance in front of him as he's
Oh.
disarmed. There's no greater insult.
Oh, savage. What a
Yapaj.
beast. Your punch?
He's trying to roll in. He's mistimed it, John. He had to, yeah, they
Oh,
call
okay.
it GG. There's no other
Oh.
way. You can't come
No.
back from this game.
No. Hey, Mike.
Yes.
Remind me who doubted the Raid King? Remind me? Who was swaggering? Who was dancing? Savage. Absolutely savage this
Oh.
game. MG.Trust on
All
point.
right, you got me, John. All right, calm. Don't go boasting on me, John. I've been looking at the win rate of Wraith King. In fact, we'll have a gander at it right now if you like, John. We'll look.
Yeah. Actually, let me know. What is it actually?
What
I
is
have
the
no clue.
Wraith King win rate? What the hell?
Right.
Oh, 50.8%. That's actually not. That's crazy.
It's pretty nice, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And Savage makes it work. Still,
Right.
Neon, they fell back. I mean, this troll was a comfort pick for Natsumi. We've seen him play it in different teams, in a droid a lot of times. The last pick, Enigma, I think, is what did it, right? Like we were questioning the tiny Earth Spirit and then the Clockwork, but it was when they closed out with the Enigma where the draft was really hard to pull off. I think Neon's got to be very careful about going all in on this early game lineup, and because the moment you fall behind, you start to depend on one hero, and sometimes there's not enough farm to find when you fall that far behind. So that's something Neon's gonna have to watch out for. Tournament lives on the line, heads on the chopping block, and
Here for game number 2 of this best of 3. My apologies, John. I was slightly late, had something to do quickly. But we are back for game 2. Of course, before we do talk about the draft, huge shout out to our sponsor, Monster Energy, for keeping us energized, John. It is getting quite late. It's 12 a.m. in the morning for me, but got me Monster here. Fantastic stuff, John. With that, though, moving on, the draft has begun. Of course, we do have a Lena Slana opening for Motivate.Trust. So they go back to exactly what worked the first game. And Neon's gone back to the Tiny.
Dyer's turn to ban.
Alright, they shake it up. Yeah, Tiny comes out, which could still be Play Hard or Yapage, but they immediately grab the Natsumi Spectre. That doesn't necessarily change things, though. I think the rest of the draft really was the issue. Like the Clockwork pick, the Earth Spirit pickup, didn't really line up, so we're going to have to see what else Neon builds up from this. But you can see they are trying to go for a different approach. MG.Trust, the Lena Slaughter is just such a strong combination. There's also the fact that you can flex the Lena or flex the Slaughter as a core instead. So you don't necessarily lock yourself into the supports. If you need a specific support to come out here, you have options. And I think that is why MG.Trust, I honestly like their opening a bit more. The Spectre we've seen in Southeast Asia has not been the most successful despite its popularity elsewhere. I think we can actually grab the stat for that. And so far, it's actually doing a little bit better now that we are past groups. It's been picked 10 times. It won 6, lost 4. But we'll see if Neon can get that out. I think a lot of teams have initially had a hard time adjusting to how to run the Spectre again. So we'll see if Natsumi can get that space he needs here. And if MG.Trust can prevent that Spectre from just farming up like a madman. So all it boils down to how free of a game Natsumi can get out here.
Absolutely. Third pickups now. I mean, I wonder where they're going with this draft this time. Last draft, you know, it was interesting, but I'd say this time around they're off to a better start. Maybe,
10 seconds.
I don't know. I guess it was very all in with that last pick Enigma they went for as well. That was
5 seconds.
kind of the cherry on top that kind of, I don't know, I guess squashed the cake almost. It was a bit too heavy of a cherry. Never mind. Apparently it wasn't. They go back for the Enigma. I don't know if that's my fault for cursing it or whatever, but we have the Enigma coming back. Now, I'm not saying this hero is bad, but I'm saying you're forcing yourself to revolve around a very certain timing.
Yep.
And I feel like Motivate will abuse that every single time.
Oh, they absolutely will. They've got these two heroes that are much faster, Lena Slaughter, in terms of timings. So they're online much quicker. Like, you could point to the Tiny, but even the Tiny, right? Like, you get your power spikes at level 6 with 3300 build, if you can, or 3311. It still needs a blink to really be at its max potency. The Enigma, we're talking about Arcane Boots into Mech, into Blink, or BKB into Blink, and that is a lot of farm, which you are going to be sharing with a Spectre. So you've got Spectre farming, Enigma farming. You need to have a Yapage here that doesn't farm, which we kind of saw in that last game with his Earth Spirit, but it felt like he had no backup from his support. So there needs to be something that grounds this play hard Tiny, much more free support that doesn't need as much farm, can be really sacrificial, can still set up for the team. Not sure what they'd want to go for there. MG.Trust, though, do pick up the Venge. So Venge Lena, they could easily just go for a Drow if they wanted to. Like, it might be a bit awkward into Spectre. Haunt's going to be trouble early on whenever it's up. But you've got the Venge, you've got the Lena. You could easily just go Drow or Arc Warden here.
Preferably not Arc Warden if we can avoid it. Drow is fine. The thing is, though, you are going into the Spectre. That's the real problem with the Drow, is you're going to have the Spectre just haunting in on you. And no matter how good of a Drow player you are, that is going to be quite annoying. Not to mention the Tiny's also there to catch you out. But I guess even without the Drow Arc Warden, just having the Venge to cancel off the Enigma Black Holes every single time is going to be quite nice. They could just go for something else, right? Like, Savage, do we...
Ooh. Yeah, I think Terrorblade would be really nice.
Okay,
with Avenge.
that's a good
That'd
one.
be nice. Yeah, that
Actually,
that would be.
it was banned out though, which is problematic.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been nice. I guess Drow. I'd say Haunt is not up that often that you should be worried it's a Drow. That's really the Spectre's biggest weakness, right? Like Haunt is such a stupidly long cooldown at early levels. What is it, 240, 220, or did it go down? I feel like it's still around 200 seconds, which is ridiculous. Neon do take the Ench, so that is a support that's a little bit more sacrificial. Can set up for your team with the creeps you pick up. They actually go Medusa. Ooh, this is spicy from MG.Trust. This is a bit of a risk because the Medusa can also drop off against the Spectre. Spectre can build Diffusal. You've got this black hole from the Enigma, although if you get your Stone Gaze off, the Enigma's not safe in that black hole with a BKB, and you've already got the swap you pointed out. So a lot of back and forth here. But MG.Trust, again, they have the solid base with Lena Slardar. They build off of it. They have some flexibility as to who's going off. Could be Slaughter off, could be Venge off for MG.Trust, depending on what Death wants to play. But overall, it's starting to look pretty tight. The question now is how fast Savage will want to play. We've seen Medusa's brush Mask of Madness with a Yasha and start running around. We've seen them sit back and farm as well. So the options are there for MG.Trust with this Venge to set up. It's down to what they want to choose and how far Neon can pressure this Medusa now.
We'll find out. I personally really like this Medusa. I was seeing the problems with the Drow. I think Motivate had agreed with those problems. I think the Medusa is going to be very, very hard to deal with this game. And now with the Kunkka behind it, it's just that much harder. So how do you kill this Medusa, right? Like, you're a Spectre, you want to go into the late game. Medusa wants to do the exact same thing. You've got Boat Rum now behind it as well to make matters even harder in terms of dealing with this hero, this Medusa hero. You've got the Venge aura to, increase the attack range. God knows she'll probably find a Grove Bow as well just to top it all off.
Of course.
I don't know what last pick Neon can really make here to turn this around.
The one thing I see is like an OD, but that's so greedy with Spec Enigma.
It's too
like that
greedy.
can handle the Medusa, but it's so greedy even though it works out. They go with a Storm, which is kind of strange. There's a Kunkka with X. That means your Storm's vulnerable until you get a Yules or BKB, unless you jump the Kunkka first. Should be an interesting back and forth. There's some tight timings Yapaj has to meet, but this does mean he can kind of set up for his team. If he builds an Orchid first, he has the backup of a Tiny. John Yuel can make some good rotations out as well this time. So I think this is a little bit more active for him. The question now is, who is Neon going to sack? You've got three heroes that kind of need farm, right? A Spectre needs farm, an Enigma needs farm, a Storm needs farm. Not all of them's going to find that farm. So Neon's got to know how they prioritize that distribution in the first 15 minutes. Going to be key for them if they want to get a foothold in this game and force it to a game 3.
Should be a very interesting one. See if they can make this work. I don't think it's too bad of an idea to give you a mid that can kind of, not necessarily carry, but it can go into the later stages of the game and be its own powerhouse.
Yeah.
Yes?
I have to point out, look at that Venge set. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Treasure, wasn't it? It's from the Dire... Dire Tide, right? It's one of those premium treasures. It looks really sick. Look at that. Pretty nice. Too bad I can't get that to drop. Keys, chests.
It is a nice set, though. I do agree, John.
It's got a nice hat. Very witchy. It's Halloween in December in the Dota land, Mike. Until that patch comes in.
Yeah, why not?
Still Halloween. Yeah. We're operating on Valve time, of course. You know what's going to be funny is again tomorrow. Like there are still matches that are going on beyond this last series, and the big question for everyone that's playing into that Thursday is like, who's going to be interrupted by a patch? That's the one nervous thing. Like I think America's going to be the one that's pretty nervous, right? Like they're the ones that's going to be shaky. It's like, oh no, are we going to get the patch in the middle of this?
The only teams that should be nervous are the ones that are at the top, though, right? Because like, if you're one of the teams that didn't perform very well in the group stages or, you know, the early stages of the playoffs, you're kind of sitting there like, you know what? I could use a new patch right now to just mix everything up. But if you're one of the top teams that almost have a guaranteed win, you're kind of like, I really don't want a new patch right now. I'd prefer to just stick with this one until we finish this tournament. I am quite intrigued as well to see what this new patch does bring and how it mixes everything up. By the way, John, just so you're aware, that beautiful hat you talked about, it's gone now. It's been replaced by a pumpkin.
This cursed pumpkin. You know what I hate about this cosmetic, this pumpkin? It doesn't apply to their portrait. Right? Like, it shows up in the overworld map, but it doesn't show in the portrait. This bugs the hell out of me. Like, I'd love to see just a pumpkin bouncing around that portrait. But I guess that's too much to ask from a beta game, like.
Well, the game will start. Looks like the bounty runes are going to be traded 2 for 2. Nothing too surprising here. Play hard, hanging around the top lane. He might stick around and go for a first blood attempt. This is one of the real weaknesses of the Medusa. Obviously, the first half of the game, you feel very, very vulnerable. Even right now, she's sitting at 640 HP. Very, very squishy target. Of course, no mana shield available right now. This is probably the best chance they have of killing the Medusa, you know, early on while they can.
Yeah, and I like what Neon's doing as well. They have Natsumi up top. The Spectre, when you throw more heroes on top, does have some pretty decent control in the early levels. So this is going to make matters a bit complicated for MG.Trust. And Savage has got to watch his spacing.
Toss back, they get the toss. Savage going to try and run away, but the slows are there. The enchant, the spectral dagger, it's all going to be too much, and Natsumi is able to take a very, very sweet first blood for himself on the Spectre.
Yeah, that's what they needed to get done. As long as they have the numbers, they can keep Savage down. He's not going to find a steady amount of farm. He's already TP'd away. They're going for their own lane switch here for MG.Trust. So Savage goes down, where you do have Q on the Lina and Det on the Slaughter who's switching out. They'll be laning up against Skem on the Enigma. And this should be much more manageable for Savage. The issue is, having that one Det up top, he's going to be behind a leveled, and that means Skem can just kind of find steady farm here with his level advantage.
Of course, in the mid lane, Fearless and Yopaj are also there, John, and Boombell, he dies to a neutral creep, but I was trying to say that this does look like an unfavorable matchup for Yopaj on that Storm. The Kunkka generally doesn't lose lanes very easily thanks to that Tidebringer. Looks like Yopaj, he's been CSing quite nicely, but he is going to find himself very low in HP, and that should only gradually get worse as Torrent is going to come out. He just wanted to secure the range creep. But it is going to be a bit of a difficult lane for Yopaj up until that level 6 mark.
Yeah, it's really not going to be fun. The key thing is that Yopaj is not falling too far behind in the last hits, is actually leading slightly. So despite this kind of trade war, Yopaj is still keeping up in farm, and that's all he really needs. In fact, if Fearless oversteps a bit, there is a lot of magic damage Yopaj can bring in. So you do have to watch out. Overall, I'd say Neon actually having a much better laning start than you'd expect. They're pretty much drawing even at the very least and winning out most of their lanes. So MG.Trust have to ride this rough wave out, understand that they are slightly weaker at this point of the game, and just get what they can while Neon are trying to get this running start with the tri-lane top. They're still holding that tri-lane, just trying to find kills.
That they are. They are going to run into Q, but Playhard is dropping rather low. Let's get the toss off, and that should be another kill now, but he does Fairy Fire. Still Natsumi able to pick up another kill onto the Spectre. And looks like Playhard is going to be able to TP out with his life intact. Poor old Death is just going to have to keep copying this harassment out from Neon. Natsumi will continue onto Death. He's trapped in the tree line, but he'll cut his way through. And have to just try and run. More impetus do fly through, but Death is going to be fine. Fearless, mid lane, is dropping low. Yopaj wants to keep going. Almost got the kill, but not quite enough. And Fearless will be able to salve up and be just fine.
Yeah, it's again that point where the Storm does have a lot of magic damage if you overstep. And Fearless, when you run out of your combinations to throw, can be vulnerable. So you have to watch it. Yopaj is in a very good spot to check for that top rune as well, whereas Fearless is stuck mid. Might not be able to fill up his bottle and is going to be grabbed down, secured by Playhard down bot.
That's one really good thing that Neon are doing right now is they're applying so much... Oh, actually. Toss. Playhard's going to have to take it. Burnbell, meanwhile, trying to go after Yopaj. Isn't going to be able to finish him off. I was going to say that's one good thing that Neon is really doing right now is applying so much pressure in the other lanes that you just can't rotate to secure the power rune there for Fearless. In the end, though, I mean, the region was eventually denied off, in a sense, because it was given a play hard, and so Yopaj won't really be able to take it and enjoy himself with a nice regen, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, it's still a little small win for Neon overall. They've still got this kill lead as well. I think the one part where MG.Trust is starting to recover a bit is the bot lane. So we're starting to see Savage pull ahead in terms of last hits. He's got his level 3 spike and
Bounty rune down at the bot lane. Savage will take that one for himself. It's actually 3 bounty runes going the way of Motivate. I suppose for Neon as well, like regarding this Medusa pick, you're not really too concerned about her now and how well she's farming. You're kind of just trying to secure your own farm, as you know that it's even if she has a good laning start, it's going to take so much more farm for the Medusa to be online and effective.
yeah, it is a little bit clunkier to get started, and as long as you keep working this lane for Natsumi, like his EXP gain slightly slower because it's a shared lane.
Savage, he's going to be fine. He has the mana shield up. He's going to take a lot of damage, but is not going to die and can just go back to farming. I don't think there's really much in the way of forcing him out of this lane, unless you found another toss back, but I don't really see that happening anytime soon.
No, they've got the levels up on Schem though, so the greedier draft from Neon, or what seemed to be a greedier draft, is actually paying off here. Enigma is off at level 6. Got that initial farm wanted, is slowly building up, and you're still winning out on top. Although you do drop John you well, but overall, your cores are having some really good farm here. Natsumi might not have been focusing too much in last hits though. Is at 28-9, so in terms of actual farm on our Spectre, it's not as high as you'd expect.
On bot lane, they do kill off Boombell, so another nice rotation out from Playhard. It's going to be able to set up for a nice support kill. You look at that net worth graph, John. I mean, the top 2 net worths are still cores on the side of Motivate. And top lane, Natsumi. It's going to be taken out, and the moment they stop running this tri-lane is the moment it all falls apart. The Slardalina, it is still very, very devastating if they do land the initial stun.
Yeah, it's a triple stun lane, and they've got level 6 on death, so he does have the Corrosive Haze. He can make that Spectre a lot squishier. Because Natsumi was sharing a tri-lane, he's still at level 4. So he doesn't have Haunt, he doesn't have added levels in the Spectral Dagger or Dispersion or what have you. It's going to be slower for him to play catch-up, and MG.Trust now have that solid lead. You mentioned their cores being up. It's starting to widen. And Fearless, despite that rough lane where you saw some exchanges with our Storm, he is pulling ahead on the Kunkka, so this could be worrying for them.
Yopaj going to make the rotation. A Crush is out, however, and a Light Strike array going to hold them down, but Death is still in massive, massive trouble and should drop. Still Fearless going to rotate now. He does have the boat up, but Yopaj still going for more, does end up killing off Q. Into the boat, however, Fearless does land it, but Yopaj is just so healthy on mana right now. He could just keep going. Fearless is dropping low now and might just drop as Playhard does rotate. Natsumi will take that one. And that is a huge win out for Neon Esports.
Just a bit of an overextension from MG.Trust. Really good punishment out from Neon. That does drag their course back up. Very even farm distribution so far across the map. However, Neon does take the slight lead now. Less than 1k so far, but it is a slight swing back their way. And this is really much needed. We want to see Yopaj go off to a running start. With those kills, he does set himself up to at least start to build up on the EXP you need in the Storm. And perhaps we can start seeing him play around. Looks like right now the emphasis is on at least finding one item first. Is saving up for the fast Kaya. And once you've got that, more options open up while waiting for the Bloodstone. MG Trust, for their part, they are throwing lots of bodies out. However, you've reached a point where Savage can solo clear these stacks. So he's playing in the triangle. He's got a ridiculous amount of stacks that he's been eating through from the Ancients and the large camp. And this is without the Mask of Madness. Once you have that, Savage's farm acceleration kicks up into a different gear.
That it does. He'll just keep it up. Top lane, Neon starting to set up for that that top tier 1 tower. It'll be fairly easy to take. Got so many creeps around that eventually they'll get through it. Bottom lane not going to be pushed in by Motivate, so this could be somewhat detrimental to them. So they aren't going to find any form of a tower trade here. But you don't want to really, you know, close the amount of farming spots Savage can have, right? You want to open up the map as much as possible. But it seems as though Motivate, for now at least, aren't going to feel comfortable to try and go for that tier 1 bot tower push.
Yeah, I think that's not too worrying. They should find it in the next 5 minutes to start to secure that bot jungle for sure. But right now, they seem to be satisfied with maintaining control in their triangle. They have not played in top jungle for a very long time. They're just working these lanes out. You do have this Midas up in Natsumi, so you can kind of accelerate his farm and accelerate his EXP gain, which is bigger. And they are managing to really get that space out for the Spectre ever since the laning phase sort of ended. That is something MG Trust has been very slow to punish now. They are now the ones kind of playing this farm game. Death is still saving up for his initial items on the Slardar. He's been left in the dust, even falling behind Scam, who had a fairly awkward start as well in terms of net worth. And that could cause them issues if you don't start finding these initiation tools.
Oh, Boombill copying so much damage from Scam. Almost goes down. It's not going to be quite enough, though. He's going to survive.
There is little hope.
Mid lane, looks like they are starting to set up here from Neon Esports. Oh, Yapaj is going to zip straight in, looking for Q. Doesn't quite reach him, however. Fearless will rotate to make sure they can't take down this tier 1 mid tower, as that one would be very important for them not to lose on MG Trust's end. Neon looks like they aren't going to stick around. They're going to rotate up toward the top lane to see if they can take down Death. But Death seems to be very well aware of what's going on. He will just go straight out for the TB. However, Play Hard is not going to throw a blind avalanche. The scan came out a bit too late.
Yeah, it would have been fairly nice if they found that kill, but it's now just time wasted here, which is something Neon doesn't really want to do. They want to get this gank train going, help Play Hard, build into this blink with the kills that they might find. But so far, despite being 6-2, the lead is there for MG Trust. Savage still up ahead, and oh.
Bo gonna fly in. They want that tiny first. Play Hard just gonna take it straight on the chin, and the Tidebringer hit just gonna take him out. Now onto Januel. This Enchantress is not very tanky, and another Tidebringer hit out from Fearless is gonna be more than enough. Yapaj, he did TP mid, but decides better of it. Goes for the Arcane Rune down to the bot power rune spot. There's not really much he could have done to help that situation out.
No, it's 2 solid pickups for MG Trust, though. And that is, you know, something they'd take. You're going to be fairly pleased with that. You're getting all the space out for Savage. It's rather surprising Neon has not taught to check the triangle. Not even a casual ward run into the triangle, not smoke up. This is costing them. Savage is just allowed to play this farming game. He's allowed to just build up as much as he wants, and it's still fairly early to call the Medusa a powerhouse, but this is certainly a better start for Savage than you'd expect after how his initial laning phase went. Although they do smoke up now.
No, they do. They're going to run straight into Boombill. Not quite the kill they wanted, but they are going to have to accept it. And Boombill, I believe, is actually quite happy about that. The Savage was just behind him. And they commit a 3-man smoke rotation just for a position 5 Venge. He's definitely not going to be too upset.
No, it's a good here to sacrifice out. You're not missing too much. Rather sad that you do lose your illusion with the Enchantress around, though. That's kind of busted.
Do a lot of things with Enchant, John. Oh, Light Striker, Ray, Laguna, Boat. All of them are going to be thrown out. Yopaj. Can't underestimate the damage output of Neon, and now Play Hard is going to avoid the crush. Oh, Scam going to go for the Malefice on to death. There'll be a Haunt to come in. Q. Oh, Scam lagging again.
Oh.
Well, you know, I don't blame Scam, John. I mean, there's been so many frame issues, FPS issues in this game recently.
I suppose. Just always awkward.
I mean, it's kind of ridiculous how often they're happening. I feel like it's happening like 5-10 times a game these days.
Yeah, I think we've been lucky so far that in the groups it hasn't been as bad in the middle of fights like this. This is just unfortunate. It doesn't really change the circumstance though. Q does look fairly stuck in the water. It could give MG.Trust a bit of a better time actually. So we'll see. Skem, he's been holding on to that black hole. Might want to opt to throw it out just for a simple support kill, but Q is fairly low at 500 HP. So they might just rough out the stun. Is a level 3 light strike array, so it is a 2-second stun. Not sure if that's going to be enough to save Q. There is no avalanche toss though. So that's the big thing. But the dagger was on its way out. Should be on its way out as it looks like Natsumi avoided the stun.
Let's see what happens. We'll have to wait for these reconnections. If it's only Q they get, it doesn't feel like it's worth the Haunt.
Definitely. But I think they'd have to take it. Like, look at the positioning of MG.Trust. Fairly scattered out. You would kind of be isolating yourself if you jump into either Fearless or Death. And if you jump onto Boombill, could also be a bit dicey as you are blocked. The rest of your team's blocked from the river right now. So no other option unless they wanted to haunt into Savage, which is very awkward when he has Stone Gaze plus Mask of Madness plus a TP ready. So you should be safe if you do haunt into him. It's the only target they can go for, and Natsumi's been pocketing this haunt for a long, long time. So I suppose just putting it on cooldown is better than nothing.
Well, there's your reconnection. Asking for a
All this things.
like your Parge is the main one having problems now on the Storm, which is definitely the last player you need problems with right now. He is the top of the net worth in terms of Neon Esports.
Oof. Yeah, that's
Straight disconnections.
looking bad.
Yeah.
Oh, it's looking really bad. Is it network? It looks like it might be network. Classic Philippine internet.
Yep. Never ceases to amaze me, John.
Even when it goes right, there's always something wrong with it.
I feel like that'd be
the way it is.
the only thing that would ever stop me from, like, you know, going to the Philippines to, like, move there for a while. It's just from all the people I've known in the Philippines, just everyone says the internet's just so bad.
Yeah, it's honestly it's a lot better nowadays. I think people are forgetting how bad it used to be.
Oh, hold that thought, John. We're back into the game. Q is gonna tie. And they are going to back off. So they only get the Lena for their trouble, which definitely doesn't feel very worthwhile. But my apologies, John. You were saying, how bad was it back in the day?
It used to be bad. You know, when you guys were probably on 5 Mbps, I think our highest plan was like 300 kbps, 320.
Oh, wow.
So it used to be that bad. Now we've got access to minimum of, I believe the minimum plans are 5 Mbps, which is like a factor of 10 better than before. So for me, it will never be as bad as that point. That's why I'm fairly happy now with being back home, because man, for the longest time while I was in Singapore, I would suffer when I'd come home. You know, you'd go from 100 Mbps down to 256 kbps, quote unquote broadband. I would just rage. I was just so angry back then. Now I'm still angry, but not as angry, Mike.
That's all right, John. That was, you know, the improvement. That's all that matters,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's it. That's all you need. Still, Neon, they need to improve their own standing right now. 8-5, so they are ahead in kills. Slight net worth lead going their way. They are still playing with this ticking time bomb game of having two big cores farm against each other. And it does feel like Savage is going to hit his spikes a lot sooner. The Medusa just tends to want to show off earlier on. Is going into the what looks to be a Dragonlance right after this Yasha. So Savage is going to have a smooth ramp up with that. They take the tier 1 bot. Neon, for their part, can't really go for the mid-tier 1 just yet. Fearless is there, constantly de-shoving. They don't really have options. They might run into 2 heroes, though.
They will. They have found out play hard. He'll try to make a run for it. He does have Skem behind, but they swap him back in. Even if Skem thought about helping, Fearless was there just in case. Definitely was not well advised.
No. You know, this is one thing we haven't really mentioned as well, right? But when you've got Slardar Venge, the minus armor you run is ridiculous. Corrosive Haze at level 1 gives you minus 10. Wave of Terror at max level gives you 6. So it's a lot once you get the levels up, and they can absolutely melt you physically. You got to watch out for that as Neon. But it looks like Scam is still a ways off from fully finishing his aura build.
Play hard. Avalanche, but does not get the toss. Unfortunately, he got the illusion. Savage does have a Manta up now, which is going to be somewhat concerning here for Neon. And tier 1, in classic Medusa fashion, is slowly going to be chipped away at.
Look at that range. Right outside.
Trying to go for the creep wave. He's been X'd up by Fearless, but he will avoid the X-Pack. In all fairness, Savage is very low on mana right now. So there may be a slight kind of scare as Yapaj is going to jump in now with the Haunt, and they do get him. The boat was there, but it was just a bit too late, and now Fearless has been left behind. No, back to his and Boombell will save his life. Yapaj going to keep going for more, however. He wants Q on the Lina. He might just have enough to get him as well. Bit low on mana. Maybe he's gone too far. Laguna does come out. Yapaj now a bit of a sitting duck. Needs a bit of help. The help is coming though. Skem is there with Januel and Natsumi. They are just going to surround Fearless and take him out. This is a pretty big win out for the side of Neon Esports.
Yeah, MG.Trust overstay their welcome. That low mana on Savage really just cost them. Need to be cautious when going for a push like that. Neon did cost them the Haunt, but they do find bigger kills this time. They even take the stacks away from Savage. That is the bigger loss here for the Medusa. And you're seeing Natsumi start to pull ahead. Midas build up, trying to pay off, and
Yapaj going back in after the Slardar death, but Boombell does swap him out still. Boombell is going to die, and now, ooh, the Black Hole's going to be committed. They just want the kill if they can get it, and they will definitely get it. And Motivate, they've thrown quite a bit away now, and you're starting to get a little bit concerned about Motivate's chances in this game if that keeps up.
Yeah, they need to tidy up their game here. Neon are starting to pop into that point where they can really just run at you. The Spectre Natsumi is still not the most farmed up, but whenever Haunt's up, they're disciplined enough to play around it. And that's the big part. You've also got Yapaj with this very early Bloodstone ready, so he's got so much HP, so much regen on hand as well to get that effectiveness out. And this is scary now. Natsumi has the Diffusal. So your Medusa is not going to be that tanky with Mana Shield. It's not going to feel that good for Savage if the Spectre can focus him down. Even the illusions are going to hurt him. And MG.Trust have to be super cautious about that. Looks like they might go for a Roche play. There is a ward watching that movement in though, so they have an inkling that it's happening.
This is very dangerous of Motivate to try and go for. I mean, they can definitely take down the Roshan with that DD rune and the Corrosive Haze. They seem to feel very, very confident, but you are up against the Storm who can zip in at any time. The boat's going to fly in. Now Yapaj, he gets it! He zips right through and manages to steal the Aegis away. A perfect steal out from the Storm Spirit. They are going to lose a couple heroes, but that's why it's dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Yapaj on point today, bouncing back in this game. Just turning it around. MG.Trust, they lost the gold, they lost the Aegis. They're just not fast enough. Really good movement up from Neon, and not worth the risk. They find 2 kills for their trouble, but you can see net worth swinging Neon's way now. 2-3K up, 14-9. it's MG Trust's turn to play this farming game, to take a step back, get a build up on their side, and it's going to be a bit longer until that can really take effect. Like, this is such a huge power spike on Yapaj and Natsumi as well. They have the Haunt back up, Black Hole in about 40 seconds. They've got Aegis. Neon can start to dictate how this game goes now.
That they can. It is certainly back to the farming game for MG Trust just after a couple bad team fights. All off the back of that mid-tier 1 tower push they tried to go for. Now play hard looking at Q mid lane. And Yapaj going to find another easy kill for himself. 21 Bloodstone charges on the Storm. Feel pretty confident to go for a bit more if he wants. Toss back on an illusion, but Yapaj right in the back lines, wants to go after that bench Burnbow. However, the Stone Gaze is out. He needs to zip out. He is going to be out of mana now, however, and Death is going to chase him down. They know he's not got any mana, but he does have a bit now, considering that Clarity. However, he has been X'd up. He's going to go down once. I don't know if they can find him a second time. Their timing's going to be on point, and they will get the stun off into another. Do they have the damage? They will. A massive turnaround now from Motivate. Considering the last couple team fights really did not go their way, they desperately needed it.
Yeah, it's a big win for them. Swing that lead down to just 1K once more. Very even game in terms of farm right now. The big thing for Neon is that they've got 2 farm cores. So Natsumi and Yapaj are getting better farm distribution than Savage and Fearless is. However, the Medusa is hitting that spike. Level 15 up. The Scotty is going to be built up soon. That Savage is pocketing 3k gold right now. And once you do have the Scotty, the stats kick in. It is going to be harder to rip through the Medusa. And the Medusa will be stopping a chunk of the regen that Neon's got. You know, it's going to make that mech slightly less effective. Make those Nature's Attendants from John Yuel slightly less effective. You will have to be cautious about that. Still, we haven't seen Natsumi deal with Spectre yet with that defusal. I think we're going to have to really see him start to focus down onto Savage in a big way. Looks like Neon is going to have to rely on that from their Spectre now to deal with Savage. Maybe down the line we'll see Yapaj go for the Ags upgrade as well on the Storm. But
Fearless. He zipped on by Yapaj. Fearless did have his whole team behind him though. Couldn't completely commit to that team fight. How's alright, Natsumi going for the Eye of Scotty. Hey, the Medusa and the Spectre, the thing is they have such similar build-ups. It's just, it almost feels like the exact same items being built up. Apart from the defusal, of course, on Natsumi.
yeah. There is a big spike here in Savage though. He's got the butterfly before an MKB could be found. So he's going to be a bit tankier in the front. He's going to do a lot more damage. The smoke out, though, doesn't look to be a success. Unfortunate for MG Trust. They're the ones scanned out.
They are. So they aren't going to go for the fight yet. And Yor's been spotted in the dire jungle. He's going to go for a TP away, and he's going to be fine. Oh, regen rune found for the Storm. Be a good feeling for him the next team fight that comes around.
You know, I mean, your Podge has been setting up. Having this additional sort of pop on him is going to allow him to really pull into the back where MG Trust has been really vulnerable. MG Trust right now, they don't quite have any BKBs up and running yet, so they're always going to be susceptible to that initiation from the Storm. Fearless is the first one to farm his up, very close to finishing it up, but beyond that, just no spell immunity at all is sort of causing them issues right now, especially when your Podge finds the right target. So gotta kind of mitigate that for MG Trust down the line. BKBs are going to help out their cause. But for now, at the least, they've got this pipe on Death. so they are holding back some of that match damage, but the control is always going to be an issue. Still, MG.Trust have grouped up down bot, going for a tier 2, but speaking of BKBs, Yapaj has one as well. So that control he had earlier, not going to be as clean. It's going to be reliant mainly on Bash of the Deep once that BKB's pop.
And it will. The backside, smoke up, play hard, gonna move in with Skem and Januel. Outpost gonna be taken. They are really wrapping around the long way, trying to get the high ground advantage. G.Trust, they're going to run straight into them. They've got to watch out for a big black hole here from Skem. Skem has shown himself, and a double crush comes out. Haunt is going to be there. They do come in. Natsumi trying to go after Boombill. They are going to lose Januel, but Yopaj also coming in. Now the boat to be out. Natsumi actually avoids the boat stun. And the Stone Gaze doesn't really do anything, so now they can just turn back around. Skem, black hole, the toss back into the black hole. It's all going to be perfect. And now Yapaj in there up against Fearless. Wants to go after the Conquer, but Savage still trying to fight this one out. Laguna is going to be there. The black hole wasn't enough. Yapaj, he's going to remnant out. They didn't have the damage.
Ooh. Savage just healed back to full. Did he manage to get... It looked like he got a Mystic Snake out, got a top up when it came in. Just way too much durability coming through. Cost them in the end. They still find 2 heroes, though. But they lose the Spectre. That just hurts. And that's you throwing out a big black hole. Not a good sign for Neon. MG.Trust gonna go for the kill.
Tries to Guardian Greaves out of this, but he cannot. And that butterfly pickup from Savage has really paid off.
Oh,
like, you haven't got any MKB carrier, right? Like, the Storm doesn't want it, the Spectre doesn't want it. Nobody wants it on Neon Esports. Like, the best you can ask for is a Divine Rapier. On the Spectre, maybe, but... It's like, before that, how are you going to deal with this butterfly pickup from Savage?
You don't. You also have to... Yeah, it was also down to Fearless using that halberd on Yapaj.
Oh, nice swap back onto Savage. Boombill making sure the toss back wasn't there. Now Yopaj been stunned up through the BKB, has to zip away. That was his 9-second charge going down. Still going to try and fight this one out. Boombill swapping Death out once again, making sure that everyone is safe. That initial swap mid-toss was just perfect.
Boombill's just been doing way too much work. And with the Scotty up, Savage is just confident enough to just stand in front. He has nothing to worry about.
No, he doesn't. They're zipping in and out, trying their best to kind of whittle down. Fearless actually going to go for a BKB, but I suppose they'll go to Januel. I think that might have been a misclick, but now the Haunt's going to come in. They do Vortex up the Medusa. Haunt in from Lumi. He's committed all the way. Can they do this, however? Well, everyone's ignoring Savage for now. Natsumi has kind of been left behind. An avalanche toss out onto the Medusa. Meanwhile, Death going after the Spectre. Januel's going to die on the Enchantress. Yapaj going for a Vortex back on the Slaughter. But he's forced to BKB and walk away from this. So they got a couple supports, but that's all they're going to get for their trouble. It's not going to feel too great. In fact, Yapaj has been caught out. He's got no mana left. He's just got a tiny bit. He's going to try and zip away. Natsumi comes back in. An avalanche toss is not going to help out. They toss back towards the Storm Spirit. He's still going to walk away, but Natsumi, he's the one in trouble now. They found the bigger target. He's going to TP, but it is not going to be enough. And Savage continues to give it to him. Oh, just so many things going wrong.
Ooh, this is a scary part for Neon now. They have thrown a massive equality, a massive equal state away. This is definitely to the advantage of MG.Trust now. They get to go into that pit. And remember, this is still a Venge Slardar duo with Medusa. These Roche takes melt very fast with the minus armor they've got on hand, along with his medallion as well, up in Boombill. So this rush is just going to go fast. Aegis Cheese on the deck. Savage going to have a good time. No zips this time for Yapaj. So misses out on the opportunity. That means MG.Trust have even more opportunities to go high ground.
Here we go. Motivate.Trust not interested in game number 3. They want this over in 2. Top lane, play hard, gonna get spotted, trying to creep skip. Does get away with it, but will his TP make it? It looks like it will. Death doesn't believe he could make it in time to cancel it off. Into the top tier 2 tower. Savage, of course, can just stand out of range and do this. Nice bit of a creep wave there for some extra gold.
Oh, guess what? There's a telescope.
Oh,
On
good.
Boombell. Yeah, telescope, Vengeance Aura. What more could you ask for?
Fun part was, Boombell wasn't even around just then when he was attacking that tower. So, we didn't really get to see the beauty of the Venge Telescope Medusa. Get slightly unlucky though, didn't get a Grove Bow, which, you know, would have really added to the balance, but we don't get that.
No, not quite. Hey, maybe if the game goes long enough, we'll see a Ballista come out. That'd be pretty dank.
Oh, no, Natsumi, no. The stun is not going to connect Death. He was too ahead of his time. Trying to predict where Natsumi was going to go. It's going to be all right.
Yeah, it's a really, really good movement out from Death, though. He has been on point. Like, ever since he's been standing in here, just delivering the goods here for MG.Trust. There is a blink now on Scam, so maybe the black holes can come in. We said the same thing in the first game, though. Scam's got to be on point with this black hole.
Well, Boombell's got the 2 charges of swap. That's my problem with a telescope, and he has been very on point with his swaps. So there's no Lincoln Sphere. There's nothing like that to block off the initial swap. Meanwhile, oh, Scam's been caught out. Fearless found him. Savage has also got a Divine Rapier, mind you. They're going to try and make the jump in, and they have found Boombell. Savage with the Stone Gaze, willing to team fight. The Black Hole is going to be there as well, but the double stun is there from Scam, and that'll be Scam going down. Why is there a Divine on the deck?
The courier died. Okay, it goes back to Savage.
Oh, Savage. Really trying to make it hard for his team.
Have you ever seen that? Like someone ferrying out the courier and losing it with a Divine, and then having the enemy core pick it up, immediately lose it. Oh my god. Savage is trying to give everyone a heart attack.
I think we've seen it, but it's been a long time since we've seen it. Play hard, caught out. Q also being caught out, but Death is there with the crush, and Yopaj is dead. No buybacks left. This should just be it.
Oh.
There it is. GG is called. Motivate.Trust will make it through to the next round, and unfortunately for Neon, they are going to have to make their exit.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Neon, but MG.Trust, you know, they were up and down in groups. They ended up in the lower bracket here. The former back-to-back champs of BTS tournaments, BTS Pro Series Season 3 into Summit 13, kind of having this performance in groups was worrying. They come out on top now. They do get to go on, and Neon's going to have to, well, enjoy the holidays now. They get to take a little bit of a break as we do enter the Christmas season, unfortunately. But props to MG.Trust pulling ahead. Neon, issues in the draft. I think you and I can agree. Second game draft was a lot better, but the pop back into the Enigma was just so strange, right? After what happened in game 1, you put the same amount of pressure on Scam, and you still had this sort of same timing. The Spectre and the Troll both had sort of similar farming timings as well. So it wasn't completely fixed. Yopaj did do better on his Storm, but it wasn't enough to overcome.
Well, with that, John, of course, that is it for tonight. We will be back tomorrow for some more playoffs. We're going to the upper bracket tomorrow.